Hello guys! Sorry, I was away from my computer. But we're going back and playing the same game again. Our good old Witchwood. Which has been really fun, really pretty. Super nice, super good. Overall, I've been really enjoying it. Oh. Yippee. So, I think we should dive right in, don't y'all think? I was thinking of possibly getting the full screen to work, so we'll see how that works. Are we still getting captured? It looks like so. Okay, cool. Perfect, 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 perfect. So, last time we had just wrapped up with the bear, which was great. We turned him into a teddy. The last case that we got right now is the ox. We're figuring out what's going on with his family that's been missing. He's making a lot of noise. So now we're going to craft a humble pie for this bandit. Feed this boy and continue on collecting the souls that exist in Witchwood. So let's check our grimoire so we can figure out what we need to make a pie. Perfect. We need salt, which we can craft this real quick. Now we just need to get some embers. Well, now at least the bandits won't screw me. We also need dough. Let's just make dough. We need more eggs, grains, and milk. We also need to make more pots. So overall, we just need to get more materials to make pots and get bread. I don't know how to distract a gnome. The market? Where the heck is the market? Maybe I can get some grain from his garden. Where would I find the hay just out and about? The wheat just out and about. Maybe along somewhere. How does one even acquire seeds? Because that's my big question, is how do I acquire these seeds in the first place? What am I even looking for? Is it the pumpkins? Maybe it is the pumpkins. Maybe... we should see if that's the case, because honestly, I don't remember. And there's no harm in trying. accidentally made one of these when I didn't need to. Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Wait. Yeah, I did. No, pumpkin bones are what they give us. Pumpkin bones. The heck? Did I finally find it? I did! Okay. Now we just need 2 things of milk, but we need to make 2 pots. The cow is back down this way, yeah? Yeah, back down. Back down through the farm. That's rude. Now to head back to those dang bandits. Why does he sound like this? Like, genuinely, why does he gotta speak like that? Say, did you know how to bake? Yeah. Fee fi fo fum, I want my pie in my tummy tum tum. Come on then, have a helping. The bandit plunges his hand into the pie, grabbing a fistful. He barks in delight as wet chunks of pie filling spatter out of his gob. Ah, delish, just like how Ma used to make. But something's different. He picks a small black feather from between his yellow teeth. Is this crow? I figured you could do with the serving of humility. The gargantuan man's lips begins to quiver. Great watery tears well up in his beady eyes. What's the matter, dearie? Are the spices too strong? No, it ain't the spices. It's just... He deteriorates into great shuddering sobs that shake the camp. Ma always said I was a bad seed, said I weren't good for nothing but eating and thieving, but all I really wanted to do was dance. I was gonna make the greatest dance troupe the world had ever seen. Had a name in mind and everything, picking the leaping pockets. But I ain't been doing nothing but taking, always taking. Ooh, Ma was right. I'm a bad apple. Come on now, dry those eyes. You're not all bad. He snorts a dangling glob of snot back into his nose. You really think so? You gently reassure him with another helping of pie. Of course not. You're going to tell me all about the Ox's family, aren't you? Oh, but right. Well, you see, we've been spying on that Ox family for years now. Every full moon, he'd go out into the fields all by his lonesome. He'd howl at the sky. What was it he'd say? Oh yeah, he'd yell, "Abcra corn cob." Then it always sounded like he got into an argument with someone, but there was never anyone else there, except that creepy old scarecrow of his. You pat the sniffling rug on his stubbly cheek. That's a good lad. Maybe it's time to think about trading the daggers for dance shoes. He stuffs more handfuls of the crumbling pie between his blubbering lips. Yes, I'll do it. I'll dance. I knew the scarecrow had something going on. There's no way the scarecrow didn't and wouldn't have something going on. This eerie simulacrum of a humano sways in the breeze. Its lumpy face seems to leer down at you, as if expecting something. Abracacorncob? The figure creaks against its pole as its vegetative head twists to look at you. It takes a wheezing breath, expelling a moth from its mouth hole. Hello! Yes! Have you come to strike a deal with the great and magnanimous Harvest Master? Ugh. No thank you. I'm involved in quite too many dark contracts with supernatural beings already. Why then have you summoned me? Has the ox made a deal with you, perchance? The ox? Why, yes. Terrible trade, I say, but a deal is a deal. What sort of trade? Does it have to do with his missing family? Yes, he said he wanted to win pretty prizes, grow the best crops. He said he would give up anything in the world. So he offered me his wife and son, and I'm not one to refuse a bargain like that. Where are they? What'd you do with them? Don't worry, they're fine, but as long as I make the crops grow, they belong to me. And if the crops should fail, your deal would be broken. Ah! I am the great harvest master. My harvest will never fail. We'll see about that. I better take a closer look at these prize-winning plants. These stalks don't look so sturdy to me. A good herbicide ought to shrivel these right up. That'll teach the ox a lesson about proper agricultural practices. I'll need a sturdy enough vessel to hold the poison, though. Maybe I can convince that vegetal fellow to give up that nice big watering can of his. Well, hello again. Find out anything, anything about that ox is up to? As a matter of fact, I have. It seems he traded his family to a turnip wizard or field genie or some other such nonsense. Ah, you must mean the harvest master. That explains a lot, actually. Bad business to get mixed up with that sort of fellow. The farmer nervously wipes his brow with the back of his leafy hand. Not that I wouldn't know anything about that myself. Listen, I don't have time to exchange for farm gossip. I need to borrow your watering can over there. Ah, I'd be happy to lend it to you, but unfortunately I needed to grow my prize-winning vegetable. You glance down at the fat-headed cabbage bobbing gently against a blanket of big, swaddling leaves. You think you may have heard a faint giggle coming from deep within the fronds. Seems plenty big enough to me. Ah, just you wait. My little baby is to grow up to be a big baby. It's going to be the belle of the ball at this year's festival. But if it were to say, go a little bit faster, I suppose I wouldn't need my watering can at all. You swear the farmer winks at you, despite not being equipped with any eyes. Sigh. Does nobody here grow produce in an honest way? Let me take a look at that little tyke. You look down at the fattest little cabbage you've ever seen, but if you get your hands on that watering can, it could stand to be a little fatter. Is it just... Okay, yeah, it is just the digestive tablet that it needs and wants. You pop open the cork of the potion and sprinkle the bright liquid onto the cabbage's roots. You look down at the fattest little cabbage you've ever seen, but if you get your hands on that water egg can, it can stand to be a little fatter. Pressed to fine powder, it gives a stone lends potent nutrients to the soil. You look down at the fattest little cabbage you've ever seen, but if it gets your hands on that watering can, it could stand to be a little fatter. You spritz the cabbage with fresh, clear water while uttering a simple, horticultural charm. The water beads like dewdrops before the leaves drink them up and brighten in color. The budding plant changes to a bright purple, then blue, then yellow. It suddenly goes rigid and shrinks to the size of a marble. Farmer gasps in horror as the precious baby disappears back into the earth. He turns to you, shoulders stiff and pitchfork in hand. He takes one step in your direction, but it stops abruptly when a tremor shakes the ground. You look to your feet and watch deep cracks split the earth. Hold on to your hat, this one's gonna be big. You hear a booming giggle echo from deep in the ground. The vegetable farmer falls to his knees, clutching his hat to his chest. In an explosion of leafy greens and flying earth, the bouncing head of an enormous cabbage erupts into the field. The farmer reaches out to it shakily. My little baby? Papa? The farmer scrambles towards the big bumbling cabbage with open arms. My beautiful baby, look at how big you've grown. See, with a little love and help from your friends, you're sure to win first prize after all. Oh, I don't even care about that silly thing anymore. Just look at how handsome my baby is. The two embrace, laughing and crying. I guess you won't be needing that watering can anymore. Please, help yourself. You've helped me more than enough. It will take some work to break through the Scarecrow's magical boon, but you're confident in your mastery of potions. Okay. You crush up the impish bone into fine powder. The potent fertilizer will help spread the blight. You hold your breath and empty the poisonous vial into the container. The toxic fumes make your fingernails curl. It does suck that we have to go back to the forest to get some water, but it is what it is, you know? Can't complain too much. I think it is just water that we need. Yeah, just one thing of water. Then we're good. Alright, I'm ready to get this guy, I think, potentially killed. So, let's see. A good amount of water will dilute the poison to keep it from eating straight through the metal can. And find a hefty stick to mix all the ingredients together inside the watering can. You know your work is done when the stick dissolves into mush in your hands. Alright, time to go with the ox's crops. Hey, I thought I told you to beat it. He raises his hoe and brandishes at you menacingly. You watch the sickness spreading up the stalks to the very tips of the tallest leaves. Vivid greens turn to diseased brown as the crops bend and droop. No! What is happening? Harvest Master! We had a deal. You promised my crops would never fail. Dreadfully sorry. Looks like my magic is broken. Not my fault. The ox throws himself to the ground, desperately raking the soil with his fingers. Wait. Let's make a new deal. Please, I sacrificed too much for this. A new deal? What is your offer? Anything you want. Just bring my precious crops back to me. Anything, This is acceptable. Worm-like roots suddenly wrap around the ox's feet and begin dragging him into the soil. Wait, I didn't mean... The dust settles over the spot where the ox once stood as if nothing had happened. Though the soil looks barren and diseased, a small sprout of leafy green catches your eye. Where the ox once stood, a green tendril has pushed its way through the earth. You watch a delicate blossom unfurl, revealing a stubborn, hard-shelled seed, the soul of the ox. The souls of the bear, leech, snake, and ox jostle in your satchel with fearful energies. That's that then. I better get these back home to the goat before he ransacks the rest of the place. Okay, guys. We're making really good time with this game. Oh! Standing at the front gate, the ox's missing wife and son blink in confusion, as if they had just burst forth from the earth itself. What happened? Ah! Welcome back. I suppose you don't remember much. He really did it, didn't he? That stupid festival prize was worth more to him than us. Where is he? Where is my husband? Don't fret. I've already set things straight. He won't be troubling you again. And you've got this nice fertile farm all to yourself now. My son and I worked ourselves to the bone for that horrible man. Thank you for lifting this curse. Just do me a favor, and don't make any deals with suspicious scarecrows. Honestly, don't make any deals with any suspicious anything at all. Especially scarecrows, because scarecrows are scary. I'm not afraid of scarecrows, but For people who are, they probably are terrifying. And sometimes I just think about the fact that, like, scarecrows could potentially be even more terrifying, considering the fact now we need to go back home, though. So I ended up walking right past the area where I would be easily able to go home. There it is. Back to the goat. All right. To the goat. The goat, the goat. Alright, return to the goat. The goat rears its head at the sight of you. Its hooves pound the ground excitedly. Most excellent. I can sense the presence of the spirits about you. You must have captured the souls I have asked for. No small task, I can tell you that. Just what do you plan on doing with them? Oh, this and that. Nothing you must concern yourself with. As important is that you are one step closer to fulfilling your contract with me. Just go ahead and place them in the shrine there. I'll take care of the rest. The goat shakes its head towards a carved relief at the back of the room, grinning in a horrible way that no goat should. You approach the shrine and open your shaft. As you bring the stuffed bear close to the carved stone relief in the wall, it spontaneously bursts into flames in your hands, burning away until only a harsh red stone remains. The stone slips out of your grasp and straight into a socket on the wall, buzzing like some angry insect. You are buffeted by flashes of the bear's wrath, drunken roaring, cowering bodies, splintered wood, the smell of honey. As with the first, the mummified husk of the leech turns to ash as you bring it close to the wall, leaving only a glowing orb in its place. Images of the leech slither into your mind. The prick of a needle, the drip, drip, drip of draining fluids, soothing words, restless sleep. Prismatic colors flash through your head at the thought of the snake, secrets lapped up by a forked tongue. Whispers beneath the sound of festivities. The ox brings with him the overbearing heat of the midday sun, the salty tang of a sweat in the soil, suffering, sacrifice, solitude. You step away from the shrine and the smoldering stones. Your burdens suddenly feel much lighter. Beside you, the sleeping maiden stirs in her slumber, but does not wake. Now then, you've had a very long day. Why don't you get some rest? Tomorrow we shall pick up bright and early. Yes, I am quite tired. Ah, good morning, my swamp lily. I trust you slept well. Like the dead. You stretch out your back, making a sound like snapping twigs. Well, no time to dilly-dally. I sense the next 4 souls on your list. You must travel east, out of the forest, and towards civilization. Urgh, I hate crowds. Well, it can't be helped. You must seek out these souls in the village, the market, the docks, and the graveyard. The graveyard might at least be a reprieve from chattering townsfolk. Alright, go. I'll bring you your souls. You seem much more reasonable today. Have a change of heart, perchance? If these next 4 are anything like the last, they'll get what's coming to them. I'm glad we have reached an understanding. I don't think there's any particular order in the way that you should do things, but maybe there is and I just don't know about it. This anxious little dog attempts frantically to get a town guard's attention as they stand watch in front of the smoking ruins of a burned down shop. Please, you have to listen to me. My friend is missing. The guard stifles a yawn, annoyed at having to work. Oh yeah? And what's your friend look like? The sleeves of the sheepdog's oversized sweater flail about comically. She's about yay tall, wears a green vest, has black wool. So she's one of them sheep, huh? Probably just got lost, you know? Sometimes ain't too bright. She didn't get lost, she's gone missing. Her wool shop was burnt down on purpose. Can't you smell it in the air? Calm down, sir. We're investigating the situation, but I'm sure this fire was a simple accident. I bet your friend just left with the kettle on or something. Why don't you check with the ram in town square? If anyone knows where the lost sheep is, it's probably him. How can you see that? Everyone knows that the ram hates the black sheep. Look at all these footprints. I bet his goons had something to do with this. Listen, you're starting to get on my nerves. Just leave this to the professionals, alright? He turns away from the dog and goes back to doing absolutely nothing. Professionals indeed. They couldn't find a fish in a frying pan. I better look into this funny business myself. At first glance, this looks like a neglected shack, long ago fallen into disrepair. But your canny gaze reveals its construction to be beyond the ravages of time, standing overlooked yet constant until properly disrupted. Running your nail along the grain of one of the nails upwards proves to be just this disruption it was waiting for. Where is the town square? Oi! I can't believe I found him. Ew! Listen closely, brothers and sisters. We must wear our wool proudly and show the world that plain is best. That's right. Plain wool is the best wool. All of these outlandish colors and head-splitting patterns do nothing but confuse and enrage the senses. They are the product of misled individuals. And as we all know, individuals are weak. Only the united are strong. Together we speak louder than a single voice. Wait, are all the colors bad then? What about gray? It's almost plain white. Gray is forbidden. Gray is a gateway to blue. And when there's blue, green isn't far behind. Then what's next? Yellow? Purple? Even red? Oh no, anything but red. No! Always remember, colors lead to discord, to chaos. And with chaos, the wolves will come for us all. Not the wolves. Watch out, there's one right there. The new sheep nearly jumps out of its fleece when it notices you. I'm not a wolf, you half-wits. Maybe not, but you're different, and that's just as bad. Right, boss? That's right. So what is it an outsider wants with us? Are you here to tempt my flock with your anarchic ideals? I doubt you lot would have room in your heads for any more ideals, but no, I'm here looking for the black sheep. It seems your shop was burned down last night. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Bah, that bothersome black sheep is a thorn in my side. Never heeds my warnings, always goes against what's good and proper. But I assure you, I was tending my flock all night, so I had nothing to do with her disappearance. That little sheepdog begs to differ. He says you've always had it out for the black sheep, and I'm still inclined to believe him with all your prattling. Lies and slander, you have no proof of any wrongdoing. For all we know, she may have just left the kettle on. As the sheep stomp about, you notice flakes of ash leaving black marks on the cobblestone of the village square. Proof, eh? Looks to me like some of your flock have sooty feet. I wonder where this suspicious trail leads. Sooty trail. You sprinkle the revealing powder over the cobblestones to reveal hidden footprints still blackened by ash. It appears as though several individuals were dragging something away from the town square last night. The struggle must have occurred here. You find remnants of a torn burlap sack and some scattered fistfuls of wool. The footprints leading away look to be moving at a great speed, like someone was being chased. pair of lone footprints stuck into this vegetable garden. You notice some more footprints searching in confused directions farther afield. The black sheep must have been trying to hide from her pursuers. Maybe she managed to throw them off her trail? After following the ashen trail through the back streets, you come to a dead end. The only company is a stone gargoyle squatting atop a building corner. You stand on your tiptoes to examine the great carved demon closer, nodding the lovely knitted scarf below its neck. What a fine garment. I could do with the new one. I'm starting to get chilly. I just hope it hasn't got any of that bird poo on it. As you reach up to unwrap the scarf, the gargoyle's eyes swivel in their sockets with the sound like two grinding stones. Well, excuse me. I'm quite fond of this avian excrement. Actually, it adds such a touch of authenticity to the whole assemble, don't you think? Oh, I beg your pardon. I didn't realize I was speaking to a watcher. Huh, a watcher? Why is it that no one ever comes to watch me? I'm handcrafted from the finest block of artisanal granite, so masterfully chiseled that I came to life. Nothing on this earth or beyond has a greater claim to beauty than I. In your day after day, and yet day after day, I sit up here and no one gives me so much as a passing glance. Well, maybe if you're cleaned up once in a while. Oh hush, I don't need to take fashion tips from you. And besides, you only looked up at me because of this fabulous scarf. Admit it. I was merely following this trail of sooty footprints, but now that you mention it, that scarf has a fine knit to it. You didn't happen to get it from Black Sheep, did you? Why, where else would I have gotten something so swanky in this dearie little town? The Black Sheep is the only person around here that appreciates good taste. Unlike that ghastly ram, always ringing the gaudy bell of his and poo-pooing everyone else's fun. This world is alive and needs a good splash of color once in a while. You know where the Black Sheep is then? Now, hold on. How do I know you aren't another agent of Banalty like the ram? Just look at that skirt. So last century. You'll have to prove you're an ally of the fashion scene before I say another word. Now I'll have my eyes on some new shoes for ages. Why don't you just snag a pair from the village? Surely no one will notice. Pah! Those clogs aren't fit for a horse. No, I've got my heart set on elf shoes. Delicate, dainty, exquisite, and absolutely to die for. Plus I could do with a nice hat to go with my fetching scarf, and maybe some needle and thread to do some alterations. Well, what are you waiting for? The fashion scene moves too quickly to stand around idle. Well, we're gonna have to figure it out. Though, to be so brutally honest, I may just end stream live because I'm a little tired. We did get the new bear handled, but at least we got the bear. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Take care.